The She's Crafty podcast is sponsored by Barbacoa Apparel. Barbacoa Apparel is a San Antonio-based independent clothing line that caters to Texans and Texans at heart. To buy your Barbacoa Apparel and to find out which events they'll be at next, go to barbacoaapparel.com. You're listening to the She's Crafty podcast, a comedy and craft beer podcast taped in San Antonio, Texas, home of the Alamo, breakfast tacos, and the best craft beer in the Lone Star State.
Shut up and sit down.
Hello and welcome to the season premiere of the She's Crafty podcast, season 2, with your host, Catherine Contreras. My co-host today, Hoppy Chulo.
What's up?
What's happening, man? What's up, gangsta? How was your weekend?
It was very long and I'm a little hungover.
Are you hungover?
But I'm here now.
Like pukey hungover or just like tired and like headachy?
I'm starting to feel my 30s.
Oh, perfect.
That kind of hungover.
So like you're going to be asleep by 9?
Yeah, I need some ibuprofen or something.
Yeah, you can't eat and have milk anymore?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of 30s thing? Yeah. No, I mean, I'm just saying.
I'm an open book.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 37, so I know exactly how that fucking feels. Our special beer expert today, drum roll, you guys, Scott Metzger, the only guy in the history of the world to ever stand me up, finally on the She's Crafty podcast.
This is our new segment, Getting Called Out by Catherine.
Well, I've been calling her out for 6 to 8 months.
For a while. Yeah.
On another rival podcast.
Yeah, Josh. Fucking Josh Simpson. Josh Stewart. I always call him Josh.
Mother effer.
I feel that was appropriate. So
yeah,
that's okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for showing up this time, and early.
Well, it started raining, and I was going to bail again.
Yeah.
Just because,
I had a feeling.
But I decided... Actually, I forgot this was happening. And I walked in to get a beer.
Motherfucker.
I was like, holy shit.
Oh, shit, there's Catherine.
I showed up.
I mean, yeah, I was here on purpose.
I showed up. I didn't see anybody. I was like, I get fish and chips. I'm not even mad right now.
Yeah. See, it's just a trip to the Hoppy Monk. Who fucking cares? Our musical guest today, so excited, Mikey Vibe.
Hi.
I like that.
How you doing?
Very nice. He's going to play us into break and into the finale. I'm super excited about that because who doesn't love some local music, right? I like it. Mm-hmm. So just a tiny little announcement. I'm not drinking because I've got the ultimate homebrew happening in my uterus right now.
Damn.
Bombshell.
I know. Boom. Just dropped it on the table. So I will not be drinking for season 2 of the She's Crafty podcast. I'm not bloated. This is not beer. This is not a beer gut. There's like a tiny human.
A beer was part of the equation.
Right. No, beer definitely made it happen. Definitely.
The baby's going to be born with all of this beer knowledge.
It is. It's going to come out just ready for a stout. A little bottle of stout. Right? What's a good beer to give a baby? Not that we would ever condone giving babies beer, right?
You know, you could
but
totally
if we
make
were give a beer
you could just
to
put
baby.
like a nipple thing on a beer bottle.
But which one? What would you start with?
I'd say it's like a
start
short one,
with?
like a Sierra Nevada, or like those little fat ones, you know?
Okay.
You don't give a whole beer to a baby. That's
No.
No. I'm just saying using that as the bottle.
No, you would not give beer to babies.
No.
Well,
we don't condone that, but I'm saying.
I'll do with my, she's, 14 months now?
Okay.
You kind of dip your pinky
into
beer.
Just a little taste.
And just, give her a little taste.
Yeah.
So she doesn't like the hoppy stuff.
Not surprising. It's a little aggressive for baby palate.
She might not like any of it.
Probably not.
Lambics are for kids. That's the one you want to get them on.
Do you like a nice milk stout?
A milk stout. There you go. That strawberry milk stout is pretty good. I heard. I haven't tried it yet, and I won't for another 6 months. So
Probably
there's
be
that.
out by then.
I know, motherfuckers.
Bad timing.
I know, right? What the fuck? Who has a beer podcast and then gets fucking
To quote
pregnant?
a great philosopher once said, the world does not stop and start at your convenience, Donnie.
No, Donnie? That sounds super ancient.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Is that a New Kids on the Block quote or no?
No. Independent film called Big Lebowski. You probably never heard of it.
I've never heard of that ever. Yeah. No, I know nothing about that movie. So really big in the news right now. It's going to be a little late when this is released. Revolver Brewing being bought out by Miller. Do we have any thoughts about that at all? Like... Anybody? Hoppy Chulo? What do you think about that?
I would not be able to articulate myself as well as Scott would on this subject.
Let's just say, let's keep it general and not personal. and about revolver, like just general buyouts in general. Like,
why
do you
need to give that?
No, I'm just saying
preface before you turn
that
and then you looked at me.
No, I'm just saying
as though there was something.
Is there something you want personal you want to mention?
No.
Okay, because nobody listens to this anyway. It's not a big deal.
Your email said 3,000 to 5,000 people.
Nobody. That's a drop in the bucket.
Dozens of downloads, guys.
Media people.
I mean, I just blasted it to my tens of followers.
Well, that's true.
On Twitter.
That's true.
So
that's true.
Look for that bump.
Yeah.
That Metzger bump.
Yeah.
Metzger bump.
But how do you feel about people like craft beer people selling to bigger beer?
It's inevitable, and it's a sign of a maturing industry.
Right.
So and I don't begrudge anyone for making a very personal decision for deciding that that's the best thing for them. At the same time, I think it's completely rational and okay to say that's. Well, let me back up and say the thing that bothers me the most about all these deals is when anyone says nothing's going to change.
Right, which we know is not true.
If nothing was going to change,
right,
there'd be no point in doing the deals.
Right.
Things
it's
changing,
still our beer, it's just bigger distribution.
Things changing is the entire point of the deal. So let's start treating people who, the beer community like adults with IQs greater than presidential candidates, and just say what it is. Say, hey, so if I ever sold, I've always joked that my press release is something like this. Bitches, I got paid, I'm out.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right? Just be honest.
Yeah. So me and my friend Josh Stewart were talking about this on our very poorly produced show, Liquid Lunch, the other day. And both of us were like, what is the point of starting a business if you're not going to later on, make some good bank off of it? And I have a small business with my brother, and if somebody came to us and was like, hey, here's $3 million. For a minute, we'd be like, all right. I mean, they're just bean and cheese T-shirts. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's hard. It's it's a weird line, Am I still going to drink Revolver? I don't know. It kind of goes against what we're trying to do. I
think the beautiful thing about that is even if the beer itself never changes, I think what's become ingrained into the mindset of consumers is that who owns a company and who profits from it matters to them.
Right.
And that's a quality inherent in the product beyond the very evident qualities of taste and aroma and drinkability. So, and that's what's really good. If people have subconsciously or consciously decided that companies that benefit the local economy are really important, and they are altering their purchasing decisions based on that lexicon, and for any small business owner, that's a good thing, and for anyone who lives in a community, which is about almost everybody except for the Unabomber, that's a good thing too.
Yeah,
that's what I fell in love with Texas craft beer was that you're gonna drink anyway.
Right.
You just drink local. You can. Create more jobs and
Right. And I talked about this a lot on the podcast, but what makes me happy is that when I drink beer from here, I know the people that made it, and it just tastes better because I know where the money's going and who made it, and it just feels
it's fresh as hell, man. It's not,
and it's fresh as fuck. It's like getting seafood at the Coke, right? Okay, Scott, so for people living under a rock who don't know about Freetail Beer, tell us
what's under a rock,
what you do. Tell us
geography humor.
I don't even know
all the roly-polies out there.
Yeah. Wow. Tell us what you do at Freetail and what Freetail Beer is.
So I'm the founder and CEO of Freetail, when we are San Antonio's second oldest brewery. This is the way I like to describe it. We were a brewery back when social media meant we had a MySpace page for our brewery.
Very nice.
Not every brewery can
I like
say
that.
We didn't ever have a Friendster page, so we're not that OG.
Okay, that's disappointing.
But we had a MySpace page for the brewery, and we had all sorts of. I don't remember who our top 5 was, but I'm sure it was a lot of fun people. Our profile song was awesome.
What was your profile?
What was your profile song?
If we can probably go find the profile right now.
We will.
If I can remember the password, and maybe I can.
I'm going to put it as the link in the show.
It's probably all free Ray-Ban spam, the whole entire page now.
Nice.
But so, long story short, we opened a brewery in 2008, which is before people thought it was a good idea to open a brewery in San Antonio. Back then, most people thought it was still a pretty terrible idea to open a brewery. So, but I think we've made all right for ourselves. We have a brew pub. Our original location is our brew pub on 1604 in Northwest Military. We kind of built up a reputation, and then We engaged in a very long and arduous process, which you can go read about on the internet, or maybe one day we'll write a book or something to change the law in Texas. And when we did that, we opened our new production brewery just south of downtown on South Presa Street.
Which is beautiful and amazing.
Yeah, it's a big, old, cool building. We've done our best to make it home. It doesn't have all the fancy bells and whistles of some other breweries, but we're still, despite having a very large brewery, still a small company, and there's no deep Miller Coors pockets behind us.
Right.
So, we make additions when we can and try to keep chugging along.
Nice. Very nice. I know that you are super involved in legislation and very vocal, do a lot of talks, and I know that Hoppy Chulo and I have talked about this before. You inspired him to come to San Antonio and get into craft beer because he saw a talk that you did, which I think is super cool. And now he's sitting next to you. Look at that. Full circle.
Pretty cool. I apologize for the wayward direction you may take in your life.
Yeah, it's all good, man. I was working out of jail, so and I was like, it has to be better than this. Like,
yeah. He makes it sound really good.
Yeah. like 4 hours a day while you were out of your cell, you were working out of jail?
I was the laundry.
When I was
folding clothes, I would watch YouTube and.
Okay, so that could still be while you were out of your cell. We weren't quite. You were on the outside.
Yeah. I was a guard there.
Yeah.
Okay. And I was like,
that'll drive anybody.
My friend was talking about visiting different breweries, and I was like, oh, let me look this up, and then started researching more Texas breweries, and then I came across the speech, and I was like, oh shit, it's going down in San Antonio. Let me get my butt up there.
Nice.
Well, very good.
Inspirational.
Well, I'm glad you're involved.
Yeah.
Glad I can inspire at least one person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and look how far you've come. You're the co-host of the She's Crafty
Hell
podcast.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Dreams really do come true, Hoppy Chulo. So we're going to try some beers. Scott, which beer would you suggest that we start with?
I would start with recommend we start with the October Fiesta.
Okay, which that would be that big, beautiful one in front of you.
Yeah.
This one?
Oh, yes.
This full pour.
And
how exciting is that?
I think Hoppy Monk might be the first account to get this year's batch of October Fiesta.
Well, first of all, I'm surprised that it's even here already, which is exciting. Ahead of the game.
Well, not really. It's kind of, this is about the time.
Is it?
We targeted this coming week to be the launch week for
perfect.
it. So, because Oktoberfest starts in 3.5-4 weeks,
right?
So it's not really that far.
You're
ahead.
Right. Actually, you're right.
So beginning of August, I think still a little too early, but mid-August is when we target, and then and we try to keep it available through the actual end of October.
Okay.
But it's a balancing act because once the calendar says November, Oktoberfest on the shelf is like little cans of AIDS. Like nobody's interested.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. Also, like there's a flood of
AIDS.
AIDS that come in right around this time that people have to get through.
AIDS. I don't need any more.
Nobody ever has enough AIDS, in my opinion. But then you got to go through all those. So what makes the Freetail beer different than the others?
Well, this one specifically, the October Fiesta, is not a traditional Oktoberfest.
Okay.
We do use a traditional German malt bill.
Okay.
And hop profile. However, if you notice a little bit, like Eric's trying to put his finger on it, that doesn't taste very German. We actually ferment it with a Belgian yeast strain, so it's a little bit of fruitiness and funkiness, and separates it a little bit. So if you look at the can, I'm surprised no one's ever actually called us out on this.
Okay.
Our little characters are wearing lederhosen,
right,
but one of them has a Belgian flag on it, which looks like a German flag, but it's vertical instead of horizontal.
Nice.
So we've been waiting.
Illuminati.
We've been waiting a few years.
Secret code.
Yeah, we've been waiting a few years for somebody to say, "You idiots, that's not the German flag."
Right.
We're like, "Yeah, no shit."
Yeah. I'm surprised that nobody said that because some people are looking real close at your branding and cans, and they've missed that.
Some people look too close.
They look
www.freetail conspiracy theories.
Yeah, there we go.
Freetail
conspiracy.
There's a whole.
That's it.
Underground internet.
Yeah.
I think you have to go on 4chan for all that.
4chan, yeah, there you go.
There we go. Awesome. What do you guys think? You like it?
I love it. It's great. I definitely caught the yeast character, just slightly different than regular Oktoberfest, and It's very good. I think I'm going to drink a lot of them.
Nice. Nice.
And I always say I wish Oktoberfest was could be all year.
Yeah.
So
Oktoberfest is a very, very rapid selling beer. So if it was Oktoberfest all year, we'd all make a ton more beer.
Right.
But
of course.
I guess that little 6 to 12 week window is all we get.
Yeah. So what is the ABV on this bad boy?
It's about 6%.
It's not bad. That's good.
So not bad.
Yeah.
Not. It's not going to suit Brandy's old criteria of.
Well, Brandy's
beer.
hardcore.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
she needs a 5-minute fucked up beer, is what she needs. Yeah.
So
she wants to hit the floor.
That's not this.
Right.
But we do have some of those too.
Yeah.
We'll get to those.
Right.
So, but
Exciting.
yeah, really, I don't want to say this is a, sit down and drink a 6-pack on your porch. It's a little more complex for just being a crusher.
I think this beer would go fantastic with food. I'm not
Such
much of
as?
a cook. I'm not much of a cook, so I can't describe a beautiful,
Okay.
gourmet meal.
What you
but
think it might pair well with?
like
Maybe
those,
Scott can
those,
help us with that.
those that are in the orange box with some sour cream.
Oh,
or,
nice. Yeah.
No, I'm
Real
kidding.
high
I think if you order this at a
Deli
restaurant,
Max.
it'd
that's
pair great
actually-
with
That's
the
authentic Mexican
blue
food, too.
the blue
so.
cheeseburger or the blue fox burger here at the
Yeah.
Hoppy Monk.
Oh, there you go.
Or the
I can attest
Yeah.
from about 30 minutes ago that's
Oh.
an excellent pairing.
Perfect.
Highly recommend the Blue Fox Burger.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. What's on that blue fox burger? Is it blue cheese?
Blue cheese sauce
Okay.
and
And
fox.
fox.
meat.
And there's fox
Fox
meat in
meat.
it?
Yeah.
It's got the
Nice.
tail hanging off
You
of
know
the
Pedro.
out of
He's
the
like-
bun.
So you can wear it and eat it. at the
Pedro's
same
like a
time.
vegan, but also
way into the meat.
yeah. So
Yeah. He
it's
enjoys
made-
the kill. He just doesn't want to eat it.
Yeah,
is what
made
it
with
is.
fox meat.
Yeah, I like it. Very nice. What do you think, Mikey Vibe?
It's great.
You like it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Absolutely. It is
Awesome.
one of those that you can just have a bunch of throughout the night, and not feel.
I got all cocky and I ordered a Buried Hatchet, like a good 9% beer.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, we're bringing you sample." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't want samples. I don't care. Give
Yeah,
me
just
the."
bring me-
And they give me a whole pint of this, and I'm like,
Bring
"God,
it anyway. Yeah.
I can't.
Well,
not,
they tried to warn you.
I cannot finish. I cannot
Yeah.
not finish it.
I'm
is
sure
what
you
I'm
can.
saying.
You'll
know
be
what I'm saying?
fine. Yeah, you'll get through it. Okay,
I'm
moving on
walking home.
to the second one. Oh, before we move on, where can people find this beautiful
So this
beer?
one's pretty much available. If you look, it should just smack you in the face. It's pretty much at almost every HEB in town.
Okay.
So look for our, if you're familiar with our seasonal packaging, it's the same motif you're probably used to. If you're not,
Is it the same can design or?
yeah, same. Our seasonal cans have the two Day of the Dead characters, the man, the woman. So the October Fiesta is an orange can, and a little skeleton man and woman dressed up in lederhosen, and that's what to look for on the shelf. And like I said, it's pretty much at every HEB specs. This is a widely distributed beer.
Perfect.
And announcement from Busted Sandal, we're coming out with our first Oktoberfest this year too.
Nice.
So, for the first
Nice.
time, we had it yesterday at our 3-year anniversary party,
Very nice.
and I got to try it for the first time. It was a
And?
nice surprise. I didn't know it was going to be available. So,
Okay. Awesome. So keep an eye out for that.
one?
draft
or-
only, yeah.
Cool.
Keep your eye out for that one too. Just go around town and try all the Oktoberfests. Just do it, right? Or which ones? Do you
I'm
have any
trying to think.
specifically
What
that you
bar-
don't want people to try?
Well, Beethoven and Beer Garden downtown
Okay.
both have little Oktoberfest parties.
Oh, perfect.
And of course, Flying Saucer, Hoppy Monk,
Yeah.
all have their parties as well. I'm sure
Right.
Big Hops will
We'll
have
have one.
something. So, yeah, I mean, there should be plenty of ample opportunities at your favorite craft bar
to
for
find them all.
of our Oktoberfests.
Very nice. I like it. Okay, let's move on to the next one. What are we going to try next?
So the next one, we should try our Hypothesis, which is the lighter colored one.
Okay.
This is our Imperial IPA. Comes out once or twice a year.
Okay.
Sometimes we
take.
don't even know.
Okay.
We try to do it twice a year. It looks like we're only going to only have the one this year, but and we change the hop every time.
Okay.
This one was Amarillo hops. So
Okay.
we try to do some in vogue funkier hops. So we did like Galaxy one time, which is a newer hop. But this one we went old school. We went Amarillo, which is very it's got some citrus flavors and aromas, and those should really come through.
It's dank af, as the kids would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dank as fuck.
Yeah,
I like
dank as
it.
fuck on the
right.
nose. Yeah.
I like that.
And this one is about 9%. So,
Oh, net. Almost to Brandy's. Almost there. right?
Almost.
We're climbing that ladder to get just totally fucked up.
We got a brandy scale.
I bet if you shotgun it, you're good to go.
It comes in 22-ounce bombers, and
you could figure it out.
Shotgunning it will definitely fuck you up.
Right? Yeah, that's definitely the way to go.
Like a hammer at the bottom. Or
yeah,
something.
like you.
Oh, you sword. You do it with a sword.
Yeah, like they do with champagne bottles. Just whoosh.
Yeah.
It goes everywhere.
Can we talk about shotgunning for a moment?
Yeah.
I'm actually against shotgunning.
Why?
I'm very
Is it because you can't enjoy the beer, Scott? Is that why?
What you? You like made it like a nerd voice.
I've heard that before.
It's like because you can.
When I went on my first date with Jason, I was like, how do you feel about shotgunning? Because Brandy and I were making a lot of shotgunning videos at the time to promote the podcast. And he was like, I like to enjoy my beer. That's a waste of beer. And I was like, I don't know if this is going to work out.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of in love with Shotgun Friday at the brewery.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a brew day. It's hot. You've been in our brewery. It's hot as balls.
Yeah.
It's like 100-something outside. And then we're just there cleaning out the master sign or something. It's just like, shotgun? Hell yeah, shotgun. And then...
All right, well, let's hear Scott's reasoning for this.
To me, it's not so much the enjoyment of the beer, although that is part of it too.
Yeah.
But it's kind of to me, shotgunning is a rebellion against the culture that craft beer is all about. And, craft beer was a rebellion against
the mainstream,
right. And have a bush. Here's this chick in a bikini busting the bottle over on a belt and there's foam pouring all over her bush.
Right.
So have a bush and get a fucking drink ton of them. Bush.
Yeah, I like that. Bush. That's going to be the name of this episode.
So, to me, shotgunning kind of is. Although I know I've talked to some of the founding fathers of shotgunning and how to.
Are there founding fathers of shotgunning? Who are these?
Dude, you don't know.
I thought it was
Jacob
frat guys.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's not really frat guys. It's people who are part of the craft beer movement, so the philosophical divide for me is that while I can get that you're trying to, just have some fun.
Right.
To me, it says it kind of just disrespects the whole reason that we made these beers to begin with.
I get it.
I understand that, but
I get it. Are you going to stop now?
Sometimes we bro out. And
you got to do it. You
I never bro out.
Right.
Never ever bro out.
2 daughters and I'm bro out.
Yeah, I don't bro out just because I own a vagina.
I'm just a lone wolf.
Yeah, you're the lone bro at the table.
Yeah.
Hoppy Chulo. The lone bro. Okay, let's move on.
Mike, do you bro out?
Do you shotgun beers behind the bar?
Typically do not bro out.
No
I was
broing out.
terrible at shotgunning beers until I got to the brewery, and it's like
You've learned how
I
to
tried
do it
a few
properly?
times, and I'd be like, I'd pop it, and I'd have it on its side, and spill on my shoulder, and then you get embarrassed when everybody
can't
else
do it.
knows how to do it perfectly, and you're just there like.
Do you renegade it?
Give me a few minutes.
Yeah, I think when you're young, you just drink to get messed up, and then once you start understanding what you're drinking, it kind of becomes
changes it.
Even though you might still be you're still drinking to get fucked up. You're still I'm gonna have a good time doing it, not have to be in a
I
rush
guess it's
or
more
whatever
like a thing, like you're
be,
trying to impress people or whatnot. But
Right. Well, just so you guys know, all my shotgun videos are bullshit because I can't do it. It's
You're
too
like,
much
it was
liquid
water.
coming at me at one time.
The truth
so
is revealed.
I speed it up to make it look like I did it, but I didn't actually do it. I can't do it.
And again, to me, it's just about if you had, Pedro's got all kinds of crazy liquors here, right?
Right.
And if you just ordered a double shot of some $190 shot,
right,
and just shot it back super quick,
yeah.
What are you getting out of that?
You'd be the asshole of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know there's a guy who lives here in San Antonio, and I cannot reveal his identity.
Or you can.
I can't. It's secret. But he has had this. I don't know if he still does it. This Instagram page where he would get the rarest beers, and destroy them.
Oh, yeah.
So, hey, look at this case of Pliny I just got.
What?
Let me throw it off the roof.
What a douche.
Is he a craft beer guy, or he was an anti-craft beer guy?
No, he's a pro craft beer guy.
Okay.
And I don't fully understand his motives.
Other than it's just a shocking thing to do.
He's just a brat.
Yeah, kind of shocking. So, but he's actually a good guy. And so
he doesn't sound like a good guy.
No, he
sounds
is
like an evil person.
No, he is. I'm trying to he's gonna refine the joy in beer. He's the kind of guy who he has access to any
whatever
beer,
he wants.
whatever he wants. So he doesn't know how to enjoy when something cool comes around.
Yeah.
And he was telling me the story about how he made someone's day. I'm like, dude, have you ever been that happy about a beer? He's like, I can't remember. I'm like, you've ruined beer for yourself.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel maybe shotgunning is
maybe
doing
he
to a lot
should
of
switch to
people.
wine coolers for a little bit.
Right. The new thing is alcoholic water.
Waters.
Or
I saw
alcoholic
that
waters,
shit yesterday.
that's
That's the dumbest, most
What
laziest,
what is
like,
it?
marketing
Give me an example of an
campaign.
alcoholic
It's
water.
spiked water.
Sam Adams has one. I think Seagram's has one.
What is it spiked with?
Alcohol.
But what does it taste like? Like a
carbonated
fruity
alcohol
water. It's got like
Is
a
it carved
fruit.
up?
It tastes like one of those Capri Suns that's like...
Nah, it's like a seltzer. Like, imagine
It's a wine cooler with no
fruit,
flavor
or...
or...
fruit seltzer water.
I don't understand. Well, I guess it'd be a good mixer.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like drinking that.
Okay.
But then there's also Seagram's Smirnoff also has alcoholic Gatorade
Why does
now.
Smirnoff still exist? That sounds horrible. So what? You're supposed to jog with it and then
I know,
puke your
that's
brains
like-
I
out
don't know.
afterwards? That doesn't make any
it's
sense.
It's called Smirnoff Ice, like electric, I think, or something.
That is so
That's
stupid.
that's gonna be like the new like people taking pictures of themselves working out in the gym. Like they're gonna have like
yeah,
that
they
drink
just
next to them.
oh my
Like, that just
god!
goes
And
hand
then
in
a
hand, I
pile
feel,
of puke
somehow.
next to
and
them.
they're like, weights are heavy, dude.
Goes in a shaker.
I gotta get my Smirnoff. Ugh.
Well, but I mean, who would have thought a
Spiked
few years
water.
ago, Not Your Father's Root Beer would
Ugh,
have taken
that
off
stuff tastes like
that.
shit.
Flash in a pan.
But that's what these
Yeah.
are going to be too,
Yeah.
right? So
I want that.
it's important that we always remember that most of America really likes
Right.
terrible shit.
Of course. I was at where was I
Regular
at Gabriel's
sugar.
or something the other day, and I was getting beer with Jason, and there's like this beautiful beer everywhere, and there's like this chick with her boyfriend, and she was like, "Can we get the Not Your Father's root beer?" And I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Look at
Dump
all of
her.
this."
Just dump her.
Yeah, get rid of that bitch.
Dump her.
This is a new segment on She's Crafty podcast. Eric's One-Uppers.
Oh, you got a better one or what?
Yeah, one of our regulars, Peter and Katie, they were in Belgium, and they were at this awesome Trappist bar. Like, I don't know how many hundreds of years this bar's been around, and some tourists came in, and they have like a flight, and they're trying all these beers, and this tourist comes in and is like, "Do you guys have any Stella?" And everybody
Yeah.
broke their neck, like trying to turn around, and
Yeah.
It just got quiet.
Yeah,
Well,
like
although-
shaming you with.
So the only time I went to Belgium, I went thinking like everyone in Belgium drinks amazing beer. That's just what they do.
Yeah.
So I go to this bar. He's like, "What would you like to drink, sir?" I'm like, "Well, there's all these amazing Belgian beers. They don't come to the U.S. I don't know them." I'm like, "What's the most popular?" "I'll give you the most popular Belgian beer. It's called Jupiler, and it's basically just Bud Light."
Okay.
So even Belgians like
You know what?
bullshit.
Yeah.
Just
they like what's
cheap
easy
beer,
on the
man.
palate.
People just like
Everybody
cheap
likes
beer then.
something easy on the palate.
The Kardashians is a hit show.
Right.
Like 38% of America think Donald Trump would be a good idea.
Right. Probably none of them craft beer drinkers.
McDonald's
I'm
is-
assuming.
Yeah, McDonald's sells a lot of burgers.
That's true.
Bud Light is still the number one selling beer in America.
America.
Not Your Father's Root Beer sells a lot.
so
People
gross.
like terrible shit.
Yeah, they do.
But we're going to get them over eventually.
We're almost there.
We just
Don't
need to
you
get rid of
think?
that
Every
38%.
day. Every day it's changing a little bit more. I think.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Every day.
Yeah.
That's why we need to get them while they're babies. Back to the earlier
Oh,
discussion.
this baby will be a craft beer
Lambic is for-
drinker.
Lambic is for babies.
Right out of the
Can we
womb.
get some
Lambic,
t-shirts? Lambic is for babies.
I'll make it. Yeah, you guys
Lambics
want me
and,
to?
and meads.
Yeah.
That's what you started
I'm gonna
off
make
on.
my Goes Before Hose shirt first, and then we'll do that
Forgot
one.
about that shirt.
Yeah,
Damn.
that
damn.
one's rolling out soon. I'm pretty
God,
excited
you were so
about
proud
it.
of yourself when you told
I'm
me.
doing it for the beer festival. I know. I texted Hoppy Chulo and I was like, "Oh my god, I got the best fucking idea for a shirt. Goes Before Hose.
It started, you couldn't see me, but I was
What
like,
is it?
Goes is a style of beer.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well played.
Sweat. Thank you.
Well
I
played.
appreciate it. I mean, it's gonna unveil at the beer festival. I'm excited about it. Okay, so let's go. Let's move on to this third beer.
All right, this third beer
Third beer.
is this is a 2015 La Muerta,
Nice.
which is our Imperial Stout. Comes out every year, November.
Serious fucking business, guys.
The first Saturday of November is when it comes out. We have it on draft at our brew pub the 1st of November, but then the first Saturday is when we release the bottles and all that, and it's a big crazy event. So last year, you and Brandy came to our super mega awesome
We came
bottle
to your
release day.
super mega awesome sausage fest. Yes, we did.
There's a lot of dudes in
Catherine has a
Yeah.
serious face on right now.
Yeah. No, that was my very first craft beer event ever because we had just started, and we walked in and it was just it was like a Comic-Con convention, beer drinkers.
To be fair, it was probably only
Was there
96% dudes.
Okay, I'm sorry. And then Brandy and I.
Now I'm including y'all into get down to 96%.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, perfect.
No, it's there's a lot of dudes, bottle releases, and a lot of the women there who are older are there because like their sons who don't live in San Antonio sent them.
Oh, okay. I noticed that a lot of the girls, not a lot because there weren't a lot, but the girls that were there with like their significant others.
There is a good number, and there was hundreds of people there too.
No, it was packed. That thing was fucking insane. Let me just tell you. I pulled up and there's a line around the fucking building, and I was like, wow, that taco truck must be really fucking good. But they were there for the beer, which is crazy.
There's probably 20 to 30 women there who were as into beer as anyone else.
Which location was this?
Downtown.
Downtown. Okay.
Yeah. Southtown.
Well,
Happy.
We're technically not in Southtown.
You're right there.
And we're across the street from the official boundary of downtown.
Really?
Yeah, the railroad track is the boundary, so we like to say, oh, that's downtown.
Across from Merit Coffee.
That too.
Yeah, just super good.
So that's you came to that release. You didn't come to La Muerta release, which is even bigger.
Really?
And the same level of bratwurst.
Sausage, yeah. Just everywhere. I do have to say, though, we were intimidated at first. But once you get in there, people really want you to, like, drink their beer.
Yeah.
You know, like, people are not snobby about it or, like, weird about it. It's just how we thought it would be, but it's not like that at all. That was awesome.
I don't enjoy those places. You know, you go somewhere in certain bars, you mispronounce something, a name of a beer or whatever,
sucks.
get out of here with that. It's just
because it just deters people from drinking craft beer.
Meet some new friends.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we've always done these events and set them up to, have that's not ceremony, but that event beforehand, people sharing, bottle sharing.
Right.
And it's all about, the sense of community of, letting people try things they may never have an opportunity ever again. And kind of back to that, my friend who has ruined beer for himself.
Right.
This is a way that people can unruin beer and get back into it and really share, and that's what's awesome. So I'm glad you made it out that one. I hope you make it to the next one.
I will.
Which will be in November.
Yeah.
And so let's.
I was surprised because I didn't know.
I love this beer. This beer is it's my favorite beer from Freetail. I remember I was doing a tasting at a little convenience store in Austin. Austin has these awesome little convenience stores that they just buy everything that comes out. Give it to me. And then so it accumulates, and then they have stuff that's like has dust like in the back shelf. Or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like looking around, and I was like, it was slow. And I was like looking at all the beer, and I was like, I saw La Muerta like 2015, and it was like.
Are you talking about Witchcraft?
March? No, it was MLK Food Mart.
Okay.
Yeah. On MLK in Austin.
Okay.
And I saw this dusty bottle of La Muerta 2015. I was like, hell yeah. And the guy was laughing at me. He's like, dude, you're buying, one, you're buying beer. Two, you're buying a San Antonio beer. I'm like, dude, this is great. This is fucking San Antonio beer. Like,
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. And then drink it with I couldn't save it. I'm terrible at like cellaring anything. I can't cellar anything. I went to my sister's afterwards, and her and her husband, we all drank it and had a good time.
I like to say that breweries have pre-aged everything for you, so there's really no need to cellar anything.
Yeah, I like that.
I actually, one of my accounts in, I think y'all are there too, at the Growling in San Marcos. So the guy, Ruben, he has a huge cellar. And it's gotten to the point where, like, he's like, dude, I need to get rid of some of this stuff. He has bottles from 1997.
Wow.
And I went in to go swap out a tap handle because our tap handle was a little too bulky, and we got some new ones, so I gave him a little shorty one. And he's like, Eric, you have great timing. Sit down. There's like 5 people there. And he's like, we're doing Imperial Stouts today. And he had bottles as far back as 2004.
Wow.
And I think it was the best ones that we had was a 2005 and a 2009 oak-aged Yeti by Great Divide.
Okay.
And it was very interesting to find out, like, a lot of beers that you would cellar, they don't, 5 years is a good like cutoff point. Everything after that pretty much was all flat. Like, we had like a Great Divide. I can't remember what batch number, but most of them were flat. All of those, except for the Yeti. Like, those two held their carbonation. It was
Nice.
pretty interesting. Yeah, I just drink them when I get them.
Yeah.
I don't got the patience.
So back to La Muerta, is it, so where can we find it?
This one's a little tougher to come by.
Okay.
So the easiest place to find it is the first Saturday of November.
Okay.
Come to, I don't know where we're going to have it this year, if it's going to be at the Downtown Brewery
Okay.
or the Brew Pub.
Okay.
So keep an eye on our social media in October, and that's going to be your surest way to get it.
Perfect.
Yeah, the distribution of this beer is fairly limited, so that's going to always be the best way.
Awesome. Very awesome. And the ABV on that one, did we say already?
About 9.5.
Okay. Ooh, good.
A delicious
Very nice.
9.5.
Very nice.
Inching closer and closer.
We're almost there to that
to
5-minute
brandy
fuck up.
levels.
Yeah, I like it.
5 minutes.
I like it. I like it. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to move into the break with Mikey Vibe. Do you want to tell people where they can find your music and
Sure.
all about yourself?
Yeah, I'm in a band called Deer Vibes. We just had like our album release at the Empire Theater. We did that with like Yosa, the Youth Orchestra of San Antonio.
Oh, yeah.
So it was pretty cool. We had about 40 people on stage when we released our album, and it was really good, really exciting to be working with like different members of the music community that are outside of just like the local music scene.
Yeah.
Lately, everyone's been working together a lot in that way, so it's been really cool. But that album, the Deer Vibes album, you can get on deervibes.com, and then our Facebook's just facebook.com/deervibes. I also have a folk project that is going to be kind of what I'm playing today, because it's like more of a singer-songwriter project.
Okay.
Deer Vibes is like a big band, and like with everybody else, it's big band stuff. So I kind of started like a completely opposite sort of style of that, which is doing like folk music, where we can have like a 4-piece and like it's called Michael J and the Foxes, and it's facebook.com/Michael J and the Foxes spelled
That's a great
out.
name.
Thank you. I have like a couple of recordings out, but it's michaeljandthefoxes.bandcamp.com. You can like hear a couple of our songs on that too.
Awesome. All right, well, let me get you set up, and you can play us in a break.
The place mapped out, and I'm so happy I could sing about it. Research has been done, and in the papers, boy, you'll read about it. We'll go guns a-blazing to hear the people shout. Everyone just hit the floor, it's loaded, ain't no doubt. Just give me what I want right now. It's the old in and out. The bank lies on the corner of 21st and Main, and if we can't get through it, we'll remember why we came. We got the gall to get it all, so now it's time to take the whispers and the stares, girl, it's history we make. And this is when my hand starts to shake. This is how we will win it. Take the town in just 2 minutes. Oh, can't you see that I ain't running? It won't be long till they are coming for me. The town folk in the bars, well, they all love the sound of whiskey lags and money bags just rolling on the ground. They love you till they hate you, and the story's all the same. And sometimes you just wanna go where no one knows your name. How long can it take to go insane with the old in and out? This is how we will win it. Take the town in just 2 minutes. Oh, yeah, can't you see that I ain't running? It won't be long till they all come in for me. They all come in for me. They all come in for me. Well, they all come in.
Very nice. Thank you so much. That was amazing. I love it. We're going to take a little break. We'll be back in just a bit.
You're listening to She's Crafty Beer News. Our top story for tonight, it seems that some craft brewers that recently sold out are on their cry tour. That's right. It seems that they think that no one understands them anymore. They now are rich, unrelatable Jennifer Lopez, and all they want to do is be Jenny from the block. I'm so sorry, craft brewers that once used to have street cred. Maybe you can wipe your tears with the millions of dollars you now have. Our next story, it seems that the distribution law that hindered craft brewers in the state of Texas has been overturned and deemed unconstitutional. Listen, we don't understand what all this means, but we do understand that those craft brewers will now have more money, and that makes them more happy, which makes them make more beer, which gives us more beer to drink. I think this is a win-win, folks. And last up tonight, as you know, it is time for the Pumpkin Promenade of Beers. That's right, we are in September. We are still wearing shorts. We are still wearing flip-flops. We are still watering our scorched lawns, but now we can do it with a pumpkin beer in hand. The government has put out a warning for citizens to stay away from beers such as the Sam Adams or Blue Moon pumpkin pale ales. It seems that these beers actually taste like crap and may put you in a very bad mental state. We do recommend that you try beers such as the Branchline Minger 32 or possibly the Pumpkinator from St. Arnold's. Stay safe out there, folks. There's a lot of pumpkin. You've got to be picky. All right, so thank you so much for tuning in to the She's Crafty Beer News. Tune in next week. Maybe we'll have some great news. Maybe we'll have some crap news. We're not sure, but we'll be drinking while we do it. This news has been brought to you by Camp Drunken Arrow.
The She's Crafty podcast has only one mission, and that is to dominate this planet with a love of craft beer and comedy. You can help us do that by going to iTunes and rating, reviewing, and subscribing to the She's Crafty podcast. The more people that do that, the higher our rankings will get in iTunes, and the more people will listen to us. The more people that listen to us, the more badass fucking episodes we can put out every week. So go to iTunes and rate, review, and subscribe to the She's Crafty podcast. Sponsored by Barbacoa Apparel. Barbacoa Apparel is a San Antonio-based independent clothing line that caters to Texans and Texans at heart. To find out more about Barbacoa Apparel or to buy your favorite taco tea, go to barbacoaapparel.com. Okay, we're back from break. Everybody did it. Who refilled on their beers over here?
I had way too many beers to
So you're
refill.
sipping
I'm
now.
still working on my Oktoberfest and
Okay.
the berry
He's
hatchet.
double fisting. Did you guys refill over here?
I'm
You're
triple
still
fisting. I got a water down there.
You got
It's
an
all
extra
lonely.
one earlier, so I'm going to sip on that one.
You take it. It's yours. How are you feeling, Scott? You good?
Is this on?
Yeah, it's on.
Lanolin.
I'm getting a lot of reverb.
I like that. You're getting reverb from where? Oh.
reverb.
Whoa,
No,
you definitely had too much to drink, Hoppy. I can hear it in my brain.
Is this better now?
Whoa, shit. Is that my mom? That's my mom. All right. I'm super excited. We're going to play a little game, okay? I'm really excited. If we can get our contestants to come right over here, that would be super amazing. This is my favorite part of the show. We get to do a little audience participation. I love it so much. So hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello. How are you? Good. So this little show is called She's Crafty Talk on Tap. It's a comedy and craft beer show that tapes right here at the Hoppy Monk. Today, our beer expert, Scott Metzger right here, the owner of Freetail Beer. So in honor of having him on the show, we're going to play a little game called Fact or Tall Freetails, okay? So the object of the game is to determine whether or not the beer statement that I give you is a fact or a tall freetail. The winner will win 2 passes to the LOL Comedy Club, and the runners-up can pick some swag from the She's Crafty table. Sound good? Okay, so let's start down the table. First, tell me your name.
Simone.
Simone, and where are you from, Simone?
San Antonio here.
From San Antonio, perfect. If you can get nice and close to the mic, that helps a lot.
Okay.
Madam, where are you from?
Susie, and
Susie?
I'm from San Antonio as well.
Okay. Simone, Susie, and yes, sir, your name?
Robert.
Robert, and you're from San Antonio as well?
Correct.
Perfect. Puro San Antonio right here at the table. I love it. Okay, so we're going to get started. We're going to start with Simone. I'm just writing down. So we're going to start with Simone. True or false? According to a study conducted by Arizona State University, regular beer consumption can actually increase the quality of your eyesight by 20%. Is that a fact or a tall freetail?
Freetail.
You're right. Good job. Okay. Susie, are you ready? On the set of Forrest Gump, Tom Hanks insisted on having a fruit and cheese tray and 2 6-packs of Miller High Life in his trailer at all times. Is that a fact or a tall freetail?
A fact.
That is a tall freetail. Robert, are you ready, good sir?
Yes, ma'am.
You ready for this? British men have been found twice as likely to know the price of their beer as their partner's bra size.
Fact.
That is a fact. That is true. Back to Simone. Methophobia is a fear of alcohol.
I wish I knew Latin. I'm going to say that it is a tall freetail.
It's true.
It
It's a
is true.
fact.
Yeah.
I thought that it was a fear of people that do meth, but it's not true. But they are scary, if we're being honest. Okay. Susie, pouring beer over a cut or wound can accelerate healing time. Is that a fact or is that a tall freetail?
That's a fact.
That is a tall freetail. That came right out of my brain. Okay, Robert. The ancient Egyptians were drunk when they built the pyramid.
That's a fact.
That is a fact. Good job, Robert. All right. Simone, are you ready? Mm-hmm. In Amsterdam, the government pays alcoholics in beer to clean the streets.
That is interesting. Say fact.
That is a fact. Well done. Well done. Okay, Susie. The legal drinking age in Germany is 8 years old.
That's a tall tale.
That is a tall tale. Well done. Okay. And Robert, at any given time, 0.7% of the world's population is drunk.
That's a tall freetail.
That's a fact.
Damn. Ooh, excuse me.
Good job. So we have a tie. We have a tie between Simone and Robert. Well done. You both will win passes to the LOL Comedy Club.
Thank you so
right
much.
here in San Antonio. You're so welcome. Those tickets are sponsored by Motor Murph Driving Company. So if you guys need driving classes or defensive driving, go there. Susie, please pick anything you would like from the She's Crafty table. Thank you guys so
Thank
much.
you.
Well
Thank
done.
you. Thank you.
All right, if you guys want to come back to the table, get your ass over here, Hoppy Chulo. I'm not fucking around with you. Awesome. So what did you guys think? Did you get all those right in your head? Were you on top of that game or no?
Can you repeat the question?
Did you get all those answers right in your head when you were there?
Can you repeat the question?
Oh, like all 9 of the questions?
I
No.
totally helped that dude out on the Egyptian one.
What the fuck?
It was an assist.
You're such a
I get a
cheater.
koozie.
This is serious fucking business, Hoppy.
You said 0.07% of the
I said
population.
0.7%.
0.7%.
I think
Yeah.
more,
It would seem like there'd be more.
right?
I don't know. That's what
There's
the
a lot of
internet
fucking
said.
people.
And you can trust everything the fucking internet says.
So-
I don't know. There's not a debate.
It's on the internet.
One of my favorite interview questions to ask people
Okay.
when a job interview
Okay.
is, and you can think of all sorts of things, and
Right.
what percentage of the world population is drunk at any given time would be a good question.
Yeah.
I usually ask,
Are you drunk right now?
how many. That's the pre-screening
Oh, okay.
interview, yeah. But how many baseballs are sold in the U.S. each year? And these are questions that are not about
Right.
knowing the answer.
Right, it's
but
about how they answer.
how you think about it. Right.
Right.
So I think I'm going to go with
I
what
like that.
percentage of the world is drunk at any time.
Perfect.
And we
Glad.
can spend the next 30 minutes walking through it on your show.
We could.
If
We
you
could do
want.
that, but I think maybe we should move on, and we'll revisit it when you come back next time.
I gotta feed my dog, man. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. My dog really has to pee right
I
now,
don't
so we
have a
gotta
dog.
we gotta wrap.
Because there's
This.
7 billion people on Earth, right?
Right.
Let's start there.
Okay.
And it's nighttime.
Let's take this walk.
And
They're turning off the lights here at Hoppy Monk.
It's getting later. It's Sunday though. It's the Lord's Day, so maybe
We gotta put the chairs up on the table so they can
Yeah.
mop.
yeah, it's all quiet. Like the staff's just staring at us and shit. Are
yes,
they gonna fucking
it's
land?
night in half the world at any given time.
Yeah, I like
But
it.
2/3 of the world's the world is covered by water.
True. Which is one of the ingredients for beer.
Full circle.
Dropping knowledge.
Bringing it back, y'all. Bringing it back.
Part of the conspiracy stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, of course it is.
It's all
this entire
tied in.
podcast is like an underlying
Catherine's
code
bedroom
it.
is just beer labels and yarn and pins and just stringed all along.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, and like weird mathematical equations backwards.
Yeah.
She
really got into True Detective's first season.
Yeah.
she really wants to be Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, and there's like a dragon. I don't know why,
All
because
right.
dragons are cool. That's the only reason.
It's your inner demon.
That's shit's happening, man. It's happening right now. Okay. Let's wrap this shit up. Why don't we?
It's over?
It's over already. Scott. Yeah, you came, you saw. You can tell Josh Stewart that my show is better than his.
Well, but
Damn.
I don't know if I'm ready to go there.
I drank
Really?
more beer than I did
God
on
damn.
Josh's
Josh and
show.
I. So
Josh, it's like being in the living room with you and Josh listening to
when
those
I
episodes.
go on Josh's show, which is, I think
You're
I
4
think we
deep
have
or
enough
something.
episodes of me on his show to go
Uh-huh.
in syndication.
Right.
So,
Right.
But you know, we pick a Whole Foods. It's always a different one.
Right.
And we just like gab for
You
like
just shoot
3.5
the-
hours.
You shoot the shit, and then every once in a while, I've heard you interject and be like, "What is this show about?" And Josh is
No,
like,
I don't
"It's
know.
about beer."
Yeah, I don't know what this show's about
I have
at
no
all.
idea.
This
Yeah.
one's a lot more well defined, and for that I
Wow.
give you credit.
I like to keep.
Although I kind of like the freewheeling nature.
Yo,
We could do
what are we
anything,
going to talk about
really.
today? Is
Yo.
it going to be
We got a whole itinerary printed
Yeah.
out
no?
Listen.
It's too
on
professional.
pink paper,
I'm sorry.
y'all.
I gotta.
She's
crafty.
professional
I gotta
as
keep it.
fuck
I gotta keep the format
today.
consistent, y'all.
Overly
That's what makes it
Come a
professional.
long way.
professional.
I remember she just show up at the brewery and start recording.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm still gonna do
just
those
some
shows.
guerrilla
but-
style
Yeah.
podcasting. Now she's
Yeah. I'm trying to
she's
be more
sobered up.
I think it was episode 2 that I bailed on.
that you stood me up for. Yes.
Yeah, so that was more. I mean, I'll let you know early. And I
Did you
didn't
listen
stand
to
you
that
up.
episode or no?
Bailing out
I
only
don't know
made
if I
her
did.
No, you
want
probably
you
didn't.
more.
I think I did.
That episode actually exact format as this one, by the way.
So that one had
Yes.
sheets
Yes.
on pink paper
Of
too.
course.
All right, it's vibrant.
Whatever. Oh my God.
Can we
Look who's
extend
sitting
the
at
show by
table.
15 minutes to
Of
get
course,
Pedro in?
of course. Ladies and gentlemen, Pedro, the owner of the Hoppy Monk, sitting at the table with us today. Do you want to come get on the mic, or are you just going to yell from over there?
What did you ask me? Why am I here? I am having some local beer by a brewery called Freetail. Yeah. So Scott told me that this was probably going to be the first keg around the city of Oktober Fiesta.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Oktober Fiesta. Yeah.
Like
That's
that?
what I'm having.
Yeah.
And then another half pint of Live Oak Caf.
Oh, very nice.
I'd
That
like
Live
to,
Oak Cafe is
I'd
really
like
good.
to take a sip from one and then jump around.
Oh.
Can I interview Pedro?
Yes.
Pedro,
shit.
I have an interview question.
Shit, just got real. This is like a. This
Give
is
me a
like
pen.
a.
I'm taking notes.
Oh my
This is
God.
good. It's gonna be good.
Well, I have a lot of questions.
All right, get on it.
I don't know if I want to jump right into the deep stuff, but let's
Okay.
start
Well,
with.
let's ease them in with the. You don't want to go deep right away, Scott. You gotta like work it up. You know what I
But
mean?
but the deep
That's
question's
exactly
going to take some time. I know you're time
Okay.
constrained.
No, I have
So,
no time
At
constraint.
any given time in the
Can we get the
world,
lights
how
on?
many people are drunk?
Eyes closed.
If I had to take a wild guess, shit, and I'm thinking about time zones and all this.
Brilliant entrepreneur right here. You don't even need to answer the question. You've proven the point.
Well, that explains
you-
why Barbacoa Apparel has gone nowhere.
That you think about things, and you put the thought.
Beans and cheese.
and
I don't
this was
get
a
it.
previous
Yeah. this-
conversation, and so with that said, now that you've demonstrated that you put the depth and forethought into everything you do, I'm really curious. You're very introspective and philosophical gentleman. I admire you a lot for that. So I'm kind of curious if you could tell the world, or 5,000 people in
That
the
listen to
world
this show.
who listen to this show, what's kind of the raison d'etre of the Hoppy Monk? What's that underlying current and philosophy of the whole thing?
I don't like to give half-ass answers, so this is a little bit complicated.
Nothing half-assed.
It's especially
Full-ass.
complicated, as you mentioned, because it's a philosophy. I don't think we even know, the entire principles or the black and white of it. Like, what is this something the Hoppy Monk wants to support or not? But I think at the end of the day, what we work so hard for and that we believe we can change is society's perspective about, what a good socially responsible individual is, and what types of businesses you can participate in, or which companies you want to support that will, at the end of the day, impact the majority of the world in a positive way. So that's why we believe in being environmentally responsible, partnering up with the right individuals, such as Freetail, because we know that we're voting for something that is real. When we've been to the brewery, when I see him, send emails at 3, 4 in the morning like I do, I know those pains. But it's not only about, Scott, for example, that founded Freetail, but it's about his people too. And where's this glass coming from? Where are these tables made? Who makes them? So it's always about breaking down and always asking yourself, is this life or can we change it? I could go on, but at the end of the day, it's about impacting people in a positive way.
That's beautiful and amazing. And I just want to say that if it wasn't for Pedro and the Hoppy Monk, the show wouldn't exist. This is our home, and I'm so proud and happy and thankful that you let us start here. Thank you so much. We've come so far. I'm so proud of having the 5,000 listeners that we have, and it's all because Pedro was like, yeah, I want you to have your dream, have it right here. And it was amazing. And
you hit it in the nail when, people always run this script in their heads of what society is or what is life. And I always try to remind people that there is, that you can change the world, that you can do something if you truly believe in. I'm not even sure if this is real. I mean, I'm still questioning, am I co-writing this? I don't know.
Yeah.
This other dimension. I know it sounds weird and trippy, but I'm just living life and trying to figure it out or make sense of it.
I have proof that this is all not real. We're really living in a computer simulation. And I hate...
Like the Matrix?
Much like it. And I hate for your listeners and for you to find out this way.
Right.
But...
www.freetailconspiracy. Right after the beer trivia game.
The truth needs to get out. So check this out. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a cartoonist.
Okay.
When I was a teenager, I was in bands. I wanted to be a guitarist. That's all I wanted to do, be a guitarist. I eventually became a beer guy. Then later I got into politics.
Right.
For beer related, but spent a lot of time in the Capitol. I've made a lot of political connections, which are as dirty as they might seem. But if you Google Scott Metzger, there are 4 people who will come up. There's a famous cartoonist named Scott Metzger. There's a famous guitarist named Scott Metzger. There's me. And since I got into politics, a politician in Australia named Scott Metzger has emerged on the Google search.
Damn, that is crazy shit.
Take it even crazier. It doesn't stop there.
Okay.
How many points are on a triangle?
Oh, shit.
3
more than 3.
I was into something.
Yeah, you think 3, but no, there's more.
This is crazy because when you Google Catherine Contreras, it's just a bunch of Mexican chicks.
This podcast took a quick turn.
But
this podcast gets so deep so fast.
I always told my wife that I was going to want to name if we had a son, I want to name him Wolf. That's all I want to name him. Wolf. We didn't have a son. Scott Metzger, the guitarist, started a new band.
Wolf.
What's that band called? Wolf. I'm sorry.
Damn, son.
Everything you know is a lie.
Yeah.
Shit got real
This is a fucking lie.
It's all ones and zeros,
Shit
Catherine.
got
This isn't real.
What the fuck? All right. Let's wrap this shit up. It's getting crazy.
So, with that said,
Go into it.
Pedro, if you had to pick your favorite Taylor Swift song.
Scott's taking over.
I only know one song, man.
Which one?
The most recent hit, Shake It
Shake It Off. Yeah.
Shake It Up.
Yeah, that's a good one, too. We were talking about
That's
Taylor
the only
Swift.
one I know.
I know a few.
Yeah. Scott's a big T.
Where is this headed?
T Swift fan, apparently.
I'm just trying to delay the end of this
He
podcast.
doesn't want it to end.
Because
that's so nice.
Catherine's arch rival.
Yes.
It's a guy named Josh Stewart.
Right.
I've been on his show probably
several times.
1,000 times.
Yeah.
We've been to every Whole Foods in America.
Yeah.
Recording the podcast together.
Right. And then every time you go, fucking Josh Stewart messages me and he's like, guess who's on my podcast today? And I'm like, go fuck yourself, Josh.
So this is my first time. I was even on a podcast that she co-hosts with Josh.
Yes.
Before I was on this one.
Right.
So I don't want the moment to end.
That's so nice. Thank you. How nice is that? What I'm going to actually do is package this up in a nice little bow and I'm going to send it to Josh with a glitter bomb. That's
Not
my
yet,
plan.
though, because Pedro actually mentioned something earlier in his last question.
Okay.
Talking about who do we want to support.
Right.
And I wanted to ask, because you have a very interesting philosophy of which breweries you don't support. And we talked earlier,
right?
And I think your voice is really important here.
Right. We were talking about
talked earlier about the Revolver Miller Coors deal.
Right.
And I know you have very strong opinions on buyouts, and I would like to hear your opinions on how the Hoppy Monk views buyouts,
knowledge on it from a business perspective,
and not Revolver's not in our market, and so that not so much them specifically, but how do you feel overall about what's happening?
Okay, another hard question. I think this is tied into what I mentioned earlier about making sure that you know where that vote is going. So that means that you have to build some type of relationship with the people that are responsible either for brewing, for owning, for selling the beer. And it's not about who we don't want to support. I think it's more important to focus on who we want to support. And it's those people that are like-minded, that share some of our values. We've been to certain breweries, and I won't share a name, where we saw that somebody had just finished washing a glass or something, and they left their water open, their faucet, and we saw numerous people walk by. Nobody chose to close the water. And I noticed, I'm like, well, are they filling the sink? No, it was just flowing. And to me, it's part of what, that company believes in, and it's not what we believe in. So we'll support somebody who is very environmentally and fiscally responsible, who takes care of their people. So all the handles you see on the wall, they're our friends in essence, and the people that we want that money to go. Because I know when we see these people, we see, any reps that represent either Freetail or Ranger Creek, that they're working their ass off. Most people don't see that, and if we make a difference in allowing Scott to budget in that money to pay that person, we'll vote for that. So it requires also staying, reading, always educating yourself, and kind of understanding where this is headed and accepting that it's going to keep happening. And it is a challenge because we've lost friends along the way, and it sucks. Does that kind of answer your question?
Is that all? Do you have any other questions for
me? No, well,
today?
What's the longest your podcast what's the longest episode you've had?
Probably 2 hours.
Okay,
yeah.
So what are we at now?
We're at...
Let's talk about childhood pets.
We're at an hour and 28 minutes.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. But that doesn't count like the dead time when we were...
So we probably got another hour to go.
Okay, sure. Settle in, motherfuckers, because Scott's here today.
This dimension or the other one we talked about?
You got me. It's 'cause I've transcended time, but not space.
Yeah. Well,
I think you should have...
You can't be good at everything.
You need to have Scott on more.
Yeah.
And it needs to be like the Marvel movies, where there's like an overlapping theme throughout all of them. Like there's a big arc that we're going to find out,
I like that. I like that a lot.
The bat actually symbolized something else.
Right.
I'm that I don't even know his name. I'm not a comic book guy. I'm the guy with the glove with the stones in it.
Thanos.
Yeah, I'm Thanos.
The Infinity Gauntlet.
Oh, shit.
You
nerd alert.
Yeah. You can call me Oracle.
Right.
Thanos.
Oracle.
Okay.
Mystery Infinity Gauntlet.
I like it.
Actually, Professor is a lot like President. Once you have the title, you have it forever.
Right.
So I prefer Professor Infinity Gauntlet, not Mr. Infinity Gauntlet.
Right. What about Sir Infinity Gauntlet?
I'm not British.
Knighted. No,
not
okay.
British.
Look, Scott, I know you're trying to mess with Catherine by prolonging the show,
no,
but
it's fine. Let's just
I talk very slow, and I take a lot of weird pauses. And I remember when I heard myself on the podcast,
right?
She edited the shit out of that thing.
Did.
It was a nice, tight
hour.
Yeah.
So what you're trying to say is we
really
have like 90 minutes to go.
Like you can talk as much as you want to because I have all the power.
She's not. Yeah.
Really is what
she's got final say.
Down to.
I feel like you wouldn't do that to us.
I probably wouldn't because it is the season premiere. It is
so,
the season. Okay.
Do you have any questions for Pedro?
I don't know more about Taylor Swift.
Okay.
So the first Hoppy Monk location was in El Paso.
Uh-huh.
And were you living in El Paso?
The look on Catherine's face right now.
Yeah, I was not. So back in 2009 when Beto and Joseph were laid off after the mortgage bubble burst, they decided that they were fucking lost. Beto and Joseph founded the Hoppy Monk. 2009, they are traveling the world. They're going to all these breweries. They're going to Europe. And so they get laid off, and they're visiting all these places on unemployment, and they don't have a damn clue what they're going to do. or what life has for them. So Joseph convinces his aunt to refinance her house, and they find a location in El Paso that had been an Arby's, a flower shop, and a chicken place, a fried chicken place. They install a walk-in cooler, and then the Hoppy Monk opened its doors December of 2010 with like $5,000 of cash flow. That place could have gone down in 2 days. You don't have money for payroll. You don't have money for inventory.
Yeah.
You're done. So El Paso, one interesting fact has been, I think, in the top 3 consumers of Budweiser nationwide. It's a weird town that is heavily influenced by Mexico, which is across the border, and then it has a couple of close New Mexico towns. So it's this weird blend of ideals.
Well, and Juarez is much bigger than El Paso,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Maybe twice as big. Yeah, maybe twice as big. That's actually where I grew up until I was 20 years old. Anyway, so El Paso just goes crazy over craft beer, and El Paso really loves the Hoppy Monk, and we're selling a shitload of beer. And every time I would go to El Paso, I was living here in San Antonio, I would tell them, why is this not happening, and how come you don't have these systems in place? Joseph and Beto and myself have never worked in this industry before, never served, never bartended, never anything. So it was really important to surround yourself with the right people that would teach you how to do certain things. But there were days where they were there till 7 in the morning trying to balance a drawer or whatever, so that it's extremely inefficient. And then with the responsibility of having to be back there in 3 hours.
Right.
I start telling them what to do, and they ended up calling me almost every day. Like, what do I do with this employee? There were 10 employees when we started at Hoppy Monk.
Wow.
Now we're close to 110 maybe
Wow.
with both locations. So they're like, you should just come down here and help us with this stuff. I had some HR knowledge, which I thought I did, but at least I had the idea of what human resources were, and we started creating policies, handbooks, and all this stuff. And I would always tell them that San Antonio didn't have not that it didn't. I don't want to sound like that, but it didn't have something like the Hoppy Monk that was special. Because when I was living here, I would find myself driving to Houston, driving to Dallas. Freetail opened up, and I spent a lot of time at the brew pub. So my trips were Flying Saucer, Freetail, Austin, Houston, Dallas, and now we're here. We saw that it was about to happen. I could see it, and Freetail was a good sign.
Well, I think that's a good story because with myself here and Eric, Busted Sandal, a lot of people might look at the craft beer scene in any given town and only look at the breweries, and what they don't do is take it to the level of looking at the retail establishments, who are the most important thing for a brewery's survival. Because we can't get by if the city's full of nothing but Chili's and Whataburgers,
right?
Because we're not going to sell a lot of beer. So we really need independently owned establishments who can have a wall like the one behind us, and
exactly, and
be able to dedicate it to the local producers. There's interesting stats in the beer world that once you get outside of 50 or 100 miles away from your hometown, your potential market drops by 2/3.
Yeah.
There's just a brewery in San Antonio who's trying to survive by sending beer to Austin or Houston is not long for this world. It needs to happen in San Antonio, and we only do it with the Hoppy Monks of the world. So I've prolonged this whole thing really just to get that message out.
I love it.
Because the most important thing that can be, you should probably edit this whole thing,
right?
But this part at the beginning, and then we can have all the rest of the bullshit at the end.
Okay, perfect.
Well, with that, I think that's a great place to wrap up. So thank you everyone for He's Crafty.
Actually, no, I have
with
more
Scott Metzger.
Scott's so fucking crafty. Tell us what retail has coming up that people can catch.
I don't even know, man. I don't know anything anymore after this conversation.
I don't even know what's
I've decided
real,
to just give it
man.
up. I'm just giving it
up. I forgot when you said this would air, but we have a movie night this month.
Okay, September 2nd is when this will air.
So great, we have a movie night this month.
Perfect.
I don't know what the movie is.
Okay.
But check our website, our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram, all those things. Our MySpace, I don't think is live anymore.
Check it anyway.
So, check it.
Or Yelp.
You want to
Somebody
get
may complain about the movie and Yelp
MySpace.
it. So
probably. I don't check Yelp very much for that reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what we got that going on. And then if this airs in September, that means we're not too far away from Dia de la Muerta 2016.
Nice.
So start keeping your eyes
Very
out for
nice.
that. And yeah, I guess that's it.
I like
and then
it.
you can follow me
Right.
if you like incoherent discussions
Right.
about soccer, music, politics.
Scott has great rants
football.
on Twitter too.
Yeah,
I'm a fan.
You
He's
can follow me
engaging.
at Beer Monkey, at Beer Monkey.
Perfect.
And then follow the brewery separately.
Right.
So.
Pedro, what is the Hoppy Monk got coming up in September?
For September, we have Oktoberfest, which is our biggest day of the year.
Exciting.
At least from
Exciting.
what we learned last year, and it was
Right.
our biggest day. So September 30th and October 1st, we celebrate all day Oktoberfest with Marson style or Oktoberfest beers.
Nice.
This year, I will focus not necessarily on German beers,
Okay.
but more on the people we support or the breweries we partner up with. So you're going to see a more limited selection, but from our friends on the wall.
Perfect. He's got a little something he wants to plug.
We also have a little event coming up we're teaming up with a nonprofit, one of my favorite nonprofits to do anything with, and the Hoppy Monk. We've been teaming up with them recently, but they're called MAPS. It's the Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies, accumulating a lot of research on PTS victims, on people with depression, or just these ailments that can actually be cured by psychedelics. They're getting into psilocybin, ayahuasca, even trying to reclassify marijuana. But we're teaming up with them, and this is going to be September 17th. We're throwing kind of like a little party, and we're going to have some bands, and we're actually teaming up with a brewery. We're still working that out.
Okay.
But yeah, it's going to be a pretty
Perfect.
awesome
So that'll be
event.
right here at the Hoppy Monk.
Yeah.
That's something else the Hoppy Monk believes in.
Very nice.
Psychedelics.
Psychedelics. Who doesn't, Pedro?
Expand our minds.
Very nice. All right. Yes. Hoppy Chulo, what do you want to say real quick about Bus and Sandal?
September 3rd, tomorrow, y'all.
Okay.
We're having an event at the brewery.
Okay.
It is our collaboration with Left Hand.
Okay.
It is called On Your Left Hef.
Okay.
It is a ginger Hefeweizen release party that we're going to have. The event is it's also another charity. It's going to be for MS.
Nice.
All the proceeds from the event are going to go towards MS. It's not going to be the beer itself, so it has to be
Very
this
nice.
event. So anybody out there listening
I like
to
that.
She's Crafty,
Yeah.
come on out, show your support,
Do that.
have a beer, and good. It's for a good
That's
cause.
a great cause.
And
I
it's
like that.
tomorrow. Please, if you
Buy
guys
your
are still
tickets
listening,
online.
if anybody's still listening out there, no, I'm just kidding.
If you're still hanging on to this last hour. Okay, Mikey Vibe.
Catherine's brother, you have to
Where
come
can
out.
we find
I know
you
you're
in
listening.
September? He's right there.
I know he's right there.
Wearing his Bane and Cheese,
Give him a
y'all.
shout out.
Yeah, definitely. Just you can check out the Deer Vibes Facebook, facebook.com/DeerVibes. You can buy our album on DeerVibes.com. We are myself and Brandy Perez are the owners of a bar called Ventura off of the Riverwalk by the Luxury Rosella. So we'll be having the San Antonio Music Awards showcase. One of the events while they put those on will be September 24th, I believe. We have a bunch of things coming up at the venue, and as well as my music is.
And apparently the month of September, man. So everybody
It's
out there,
hopping. Everybody get to all these places. That's right. All right. Once again, thank you so much for listening to another episode of the She's Crafty podcast.
One more question,
Thank
Catherine.
you,
Hold on.
Scott.
Hey, don't cut me.
Thank you, Hoppy Chulo. Shut your fucking mouth. Thank you, Mikey Vibe. Thank you, Pedro. Another amazing episode. We're going to have Mikey Vibe play us into the finale.
Oh, I don't have to.
Oh,
It's
you're
okay.
going. You got to. Yeah. All right, let's go.
You can take half of my heart, 'cause that's all I've got. You can have all of my time, 'cause I spent enough. I don't got much money, but you can have that too. But this drink tonight is mine if I don't have you. Well, if I was to call, you wouldn't be home. And if I had waited, you'd still be gone. You're not coming back. I'm starting to think you have my heart, but I have this drink. You have my heart, but I have this drink. I said you have my heart, but I have this drink.
That's it for another episode. I hope you have fucking enjoyed it. Do me a favor, go to Twitter and Instagram and follow us at She's Crafty Pod. Go to our Facebook page, She's Crafty Podcast, and like that shit. Be sure to follow us there. Also, if you like funny blogs and you want to catch up on all your favorite She's Crafty episodes and you want to buy some fucking awesome and hilarious craft beer merchandise, go to our website, shescraftypodcast.com. Peace out, beer nuts.